Hello everyone, this is Running on Coffee book review. Do you see what I did there? Today I am going to do a book review video. I know I posted something on my Instagram story about it and I got mixed reviews. Some of you said you wanted me to do it, some of you said you didn't, but guess what? I wanted to do it, so I'm doing it. So let me talk to you guys about some of my favorite books, or some of the books that I've read in the last month. Starting off, Lolita. It's a very promiscuous book and a topic that might make your stomach turn a little bit. It's pretty graphic and it's definitely about incest. A stepdad that really likes his stepdaughter and manipulates her into doing things with him, and it's a book about his love for her, and she finally gets away from him, thank God. But the book is beautiful in a sick way. The writing is very advanced, so it might be a little difficult for some people to read if they're not that great at English. I just don't think it's the best to read if you have a hard time reading advanced writing. Another one of the best books ever is The Sun and Her Flowers by Rupi Kaur. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. It's the sequel to her Milk and Honey book, and I think it's beautiful. Her poetry is always amazing to me. Here's a good one, or an intense one. It felt like you threw me so far from myself. I've been trying to find my way back ever since. I know I did like a dramatic reading, but I love poetry. It's my favorite thing on the planet. I'm currently working on my own poetry book, so Rupi, you're killing it. Keep it up. One of my favorite poets of all time is Langleaf. She has tons of books. I also have like 3 more of hers, but I haven't read them yet. These two, well, this one I'm in the process of reading. This one I have already read. This one is Love and Misadventure. And this one's The Universe of Us. As far as poets go, she's one of the best, in my opinion, of our contemporary modern day poets. She has a way with words. By far one of the best poets I've ever read, so definitely check her out. You will not be disappointed. Flux. This one was cool to me. This one's by Orion Carlotto, and I've followed her on Instagram and watched her YouTube videos for a long time. I really wanted to support her and read her work, and especially because I'm working on my own book right now, I was so excited to see that she published a book with my favorite publisher, Andrews McKeel. They are my dream publisher. If you guys see this, you're gonna be my publisher. Watch out. I have to say that her book is outstanding. It's all about heartbreak and finding yourself after a breakup, which I know for guys and girls both, that's a really intense thing to go through, especially at a young age. It kind of highlights the ups and the downs of that, but it's a great, great book, and she's an amazing writer. Sad Girls by Langleaf. I'm in the middle of reading it right now, but I am obviously reading it because Langleaf is one of my favorite authors ever, and this is her first novel. I went to like 6 different Barnes & Nobles to find this. I'm not kidding you. It was sold out everywhere. Every single time I went into a Barnes & Noble, I asked for it, and they were like, sorry, it's sold out. Finally, I got my hands on 1 copy. They had 1 left. So I'm really excited. I'm like halfway through right now, and it's outstanding. The thing that that's very interesting about it is normally with books, you love the main character. And I have to say with this book, I'm not a huge fan of the main character. I think she's not really a good person. It's hard to say that she's the protagonist because she's really the one causing a lot of the issues in the book, but that's also kind of making it really interesting for me. Like, that's kind of what makes me keep coming back to the book, is because it's like, am I going to like her at the end? Am I going to develop like a fondness for her? The Girls by Emma Cline. This book is amazing. This one's about girls in the 60s, I think, or the 70s, one or the other. But during, you know, Woodstock time, and it's about this girl that grew up in a very small town neighborhood, and she never really did anything fun, just white picket fence type deal, and then she meets this group of girls that are like wild and free, and she wants to go hang out with them, and then it turns into something crazy, and these girls aren't the people that she thought they were. They have like a ringleader, and he's really crazy too. It'll keep you on your toes, but it's a great read. It was a New York Times bestseller. Emma Cline's a great writer, and you should definitely check this one out. This one is absolutely one of my favorites. I'm not really a huge fan of like conceptual novels or novels that are like sci-fi or what if kind of novels. I usually stick to realistic fiction, but this one I picked up at the airport and I needed something to read on the plane. It is outstanding. It is one of the best conceptual novels I've ever read. It's about kind of like a zombie apocalypse type setting. It's about this girl that she grew up in a lab, and she's a test subject, and she doesn't know why her whole life. She thinks she's normal. Well, she knows she's not normal, but she thinks that she's like a prisoner, but really she's in a lab being tested on, and she's just too young to understand what's going on. And it turns out she's one of the zombies, but she doesn't know because she's a little different from them. Like, her brain is functioning as a human even though her body acts like the zombies. And so it's just a great read. Like, I'm not going to give away the rest of it for you guys. You're gonna have to go read it yourself. But it's called The Girl with All the Gifts, and it's by M.R. Carey. It's amazing. You guys are gonna be hooked. Another one I have to share with you guys is Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. I'm not really sure how to pronounce her last name. It's a New York Times bestseller, and I had my boyfriend pick this one up for me at a bookstore in New York because I just wanted books from that particular bookstore because I was excited to read it because I've heard good things. But honestly, you guys, it's really dark and really sad. Dark as in, like, it's about death, like a young girl dies and her family's so sad. It's like that. And it's really good. Like, it touches on the sadness level that I like to read. But I honestly, it was kind of slow. It was kind of boring. I couldn't get into it that much. So this one, read it if you've heard good things, if you want to try it out. But honestly, I wasn't that big of a fan. Thank you. And I will be doing this probably once a month because honestly, this is about how many books I read a month. You should see the stack behind me of books that I've bought to read and haven't gotten to them yet. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed your Running on Coffee book review.